Allison Transmission and General Motors have filed for divorce. This is breaking news I have for you right now. Divorce is a pretty strong word, so I'm not taking it lightly, of course, and I want to present you all the facts we have right now. We have a statement from General Motors, a GM dealership, and I just want to kind of tell you all about it. And after watching this and listening to this, hopefully you could make all of the decisions or you be more educated about it. So the truck you see right here belongs to TFL Studios, TFL truck. We purchased it, I think, almost over a year ago. It's a 2025 heavy-duty Chevy Silverado model. And this news relates to basically all upcoming Chevrolet Silverado heavy-duty pickup trucks and GMC Sierra heavy-duty pickup trucks, which have had this badge or a badge similar to this Allison Transmission badge on them basically since 2006. So the history actually between General Motors and Allison Transmission goes back a long time, many decades actually. But here, first I want to show you the statement. I picked it up on the forum, so I don't know exactly who published this first publicly, but this is basically a statement to Chevrolet and GMC dealers dated October 14th, 2025. And it says General Motors license to use Allison Transmission trademarks in connection to Chevy Silverado HD and GMC Sierra HD 2500 and 3500 trucks. The license agreement will expire as of December 31st, 2025, and a single 180-day period from January 1st until June 29th, 2026 will be permitted to market, advertise, and sell the remaining inventory of products. And in early December, trucks that are being built, GM heavy-duty pickup trucks, will no longer carry an Allison badge. And by June of 2029, June 29th, 2026, GM will initiate a field action to retrofit any remaining Allison badged dealer inventory to non-Allison badge. Wow. So I think when our team, when we talked about this, the word divorce came to mind because this seems to be a pretty strong action between General Motors and Allison Transmission. So of course the answer or the question is, why is this happening, right? What's going on? Well, recently we have many different reports from you guys, owners of current trucks going back to about 2021 models, 2022 models, reporting reliability problems with General Motors built transmissions. This is the 10-speed we're talking about. Also designated 10L1000 transmission. And we did a video about this. This truck has about 15,000 miles, almost 15,000, and we've had zero problems with this truck in about a year. And we've towed many trailers long distance with this truck, and we've been very happy with it. We had one small coolant leak in this truck, and it was taken care of, and we've published many videos about it already. It was done under warranty pretty quickly. So personally, I have no complaints about this truck, but we've had many reports from you guys about this. So that might have something to do with this. Now, I have a statement from General Motors. Personally to me, I reached out to them. It says, "Thank you for reaching out, confirming that the license agreement ends on December 31st, 2025. Here's the statement. We routinely refresh our products, including badging and brand collaborations. The transmission itself and the truck's performance are not changing. It's the same 10-speed automatic we've offered in the current and previous model years." So basically, this is a statement from my contact at General Motors saying that statement I found on the forum and the statement that people are talking about is real, is true. The license agreement is expiring, and the other details are not confirmed in that statement, but we have to kind of assume that's the way it's playing out right now. So I also reached out to a local dealership here in Colorado, and they have confirmed that they have received a very similar statement that I just read to you in the very beginning. So first, let's talk about a little bit of history between GM and Allison transmission, which goes back, like I said, maybe 100 years actually. And then I'll explain why I have this truck parked out here, our bobbed military decommissioned truck, deuce and a half. So when 2020 trucks first came out, this is the new generation of General Motors pickup trucks, they had there in their statements a statement that the transmission is Allison branded, not built by Allison. And we saw that. We did not take it lightly. We did a video story about it. Let me show you again what I'm talking about. This is dated December 2018, so almost 7 years ago. What's in the name? Allison transmission. We published a video, a news video. Will the 2020 Chevy HD have a genuine Allison transmission? Here's a story. You could watch it. It's on TFL Now news channel, TFL Studios. This is our video from 2 months ago, reporting on the transmission failures from General Motors in heavy-duty pickup trucks. But even before these trucks went on sale, we did a video about this with a statement, a news release from Allison and General Motors that said that General Motors is building this transmission. Allison actually tested and validated what they were building, and they were putting their brand on this transmission. So we made that very clear almost 7 years ago when this new generation of truck came to be, and actually turned out to be a really great performing vehicle. Towing on a dually up to 36,000 pounds. We've drag raced this truck and many others. Very quick, quite efficient. We've registered over 20 mpg on the highway, running unladen in this particular truck. So 10-speed transmission, of course, is also an answer to what Ford is doing with their heavy-duty trucks, and General Motors did the same thing here. Because performance matters, capability matters in a heavy-duty pickup truck. And also treating your customers right also matters. So, which is why reliability is a big question here, right? So, of course, manufacturers like GM, Allison, and all the others have to stand behind their products, and they do. But of course, it's a case-by-case basis, so you let us know what your experience has been. So, in my experience testing trucks for 14 years, the new powertrain, the Duramax diesel, and Allison branded transmission, this 10-speed, has been a really great performing transmission, really capable, very quick, and pretty nice. And we haven't had problems with this. But the history of Allison actually goes back to 1915, where a gentleman named James A. Allison decided to build a racetrack in Indianapolis, and it was called the Indy 500 racetrack. You may have heard of it, only one of the most famous races in the world. So their headquarters was and is in Indianapolis, and they ended up building transmissions, and then they were co-owned by General Motors for many, many years. And how do I know this military truck has an Allison transmission? Well, when I go underneath it, it says Allison right on the transmission pan, right there. And it's a 4-speed. This is a 1992 deuce and a half military truck. And when I look at recent reports and news releases from Allison, which is now owned not by General Motors, but a different group, they still state that defense contracts are still one of their most important. and they build big transmissions for big trucks. We're talking about semis, also buses. They also build transmissions for like fire trucks and school buses, and they have a great reputation. In fact, I used to own a 2002 Silverado heavy duty, and that had a 5-speed Allison transmission in it, actual Allison transmission, and I had no problems with it. So let me show you a quick video. Right here, there's me about 9 years ago with my truck. And back then, actually, 2002, there was no Allison badge on this truck. It said Duramax, which is General Motors diesel brand, but it did not have an Allison badge on it. That came, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, in 2006 when the 6-speed came out, which was highly regarded, maybe one of the best heavy-duty truck transmissions. I don't know. I mean, that's a strong statement. Of course, like companies like ZF also make very, very good transmissions, and there's also Eaton for semi-trucks and many other companies. But that 6-speed was one of the best in my opinion. And then, of course, you know what happened in 2020 when a new branded transmission came out. But Allison has a very strong name. And so this so-called divorce between General Motors and Allison Transmission, or General Motors and Allison Transmissions, by the way, they currently sell and build military transmissions also. So this is just a truck that belongs to us. Is very important news. So what should you take away from it? Well, you saw General Motors' statement. The transmission doesn't change. They're still going to stand behind it. I really hope that's, going to be the case for all the owners, that they're treating this way. 2027 model year that starts next year is going to be super important because we've seen prototype trucks already testing in the wild. We have seen prototypes from General Motors. There are rumors about bigger displacement Cummins in the Ram. There are rumors about Ford updating their trucks for 2027 and beyond. So this space is going to heat up in about a year. And this is very peculiar that Allison and GM are breaking their relationship. So we'll have to wait and see what happens. Obviously, I expect performance to step up, maybe even torque and horsepower to step up, but hopefully reliability also steps up, because that's most important, because these trucks, a lot of them are used for business, work, they're money-making machines. So if it's broken, if it's not working, that's when it becomes a huge problem. So let me know what you think in the comments below. And it's quite peculiar, and I'm sure both companies are not taking it lightly, and we'll see what happens. So this is all the facts I have right now, and I'll see you next time at oldtfl.com, or also check out tfltruck.com, where we have all the latest pickup truck and large SUV news as well. Thanks for joining me. I'll see you next time.